Philippines accounted for 85,000 and the USA had 1,800 members. And at this moment, North Carolina has 71 members, Charlotte has, and out of that 71, 16 are coming from North Charlotte and 12 are coming from South Charlotte. And hopefully after this, we will have more from North Charlotte. And like the couples, Hold Members has a 4-point covenant embodied in a small white card which members should carry with them. This covenant includes guides on how to live as followers of Christ, how to be a committed member and active member of the Hold, serving the Lord willingly and joyfully, and helping one another grow in holiness as Christian women. Hold members need one another's support in order to live out this covenant. And to attain this, after your dedication as a Hold member, you will be assigned to a household with 4 to 7 members and the dynamics similar to the couples. There will be a meeting once a week on a day agreed upon by its members. Here, you will meet other women, develop the bond of sisterhood and lasting friendships. And believe me, that is very lasting. It's so hard to break. And in fact, you know, they'll be cruising next week. And here you pray, you laugh, and you cry with them. Learn and develop a better understanding of Christian teachings and their day-to-day applications. You learn to share talents and skills to help others and serve God. And there are more ways to support one another in the CFC Hold in order to grow your holiness as Christian women. But you will learn and experience them as you move along in this journey with Couples for Christ through ongoing teachings, formation, and by other regular activities in the community. So if you decide that CFC Hold is for you, we encourage you to come back next week, ready to make the covenant. And that's it. May God be praised.
Thank you very much for that enlightening information for the whole. And we continue. I still have how many minutes? Okay, so. How we do support one another in the CFC. Hold on, I think. Okay, building the church of the poor. Building the church of the poor. How to build the church of the poor? We have, created a subsidiary for the couples, which is called ANCOP. I guess you heard about that. It's an acronym ANCOP, meaning answering the cry of the poor. And this is, a program includes shelter, health, and especially education. In education, we emphasize more because this is where we can help more about it, by especially the poorest among the poor, to help them, go to a school. We have this called CSP, or Child Sponsorship Program, that every year we conduct, a fundraising for our poor, Filipinos, or for kids all over the world, especially in India and some other countries. And we help them, through child sponsorship, from their certain amount for the elementary, high school, and up to college. And there is a program on this, and you can, Jake Miranda, who is one of our members here, is more knowledgeable on that in promoting the angkop, because every year Couples for Christ normally have a angkop walk. We call it angkop walk. It's a fundraising for the angkop, where we center more of child sponsorship to raise the money for the children. And then in the Philippines, normally they have this social development program, ministry for the migrants and the men and women in uniform, and also in the prison. We have there in the Philippines because we have a lot of ministries there that they are conducting. And how do you support one another in the CFC? All members of the CFC belongs to a small group called household. Members has a responsibility to encourage and support one another in living the Christian life. We make a commitment through or covenant to grow together individually and as a member of one of the Christian family. Through household is the primary unit of the community. The basic purpose is to have a smaller and more intimate environment that support and strengthen our spiritual growth individually and as a community. A household is composed of 4 to 7 couples. This is what in the same pattern with the whole, and is headed by a household leader. And normally it's being set up after the CLP, meaning next week we will set up what group do you belong to and who is your household leader. Household meetings is held weekly in the homes of the group members on a rotating basis from week to week in a time and a date mutually agreed, and normally lasts for 2.5 hours for the meeting, and it can last more, depends on the household, but that's the minimum, at least not more than 2.5 hours. The basic 3 components in the typical household meeting: we have the prayer and worship. This is what we had here a while ago with the Brother Bo, who's conducting the praise and worship. It's a praise and worship. Then after that, after the praise and worship, then we will go. There are 3 topics that you will be undertaking. It all depends on the household leader, whether it will be a personal sharing, a group discussion, or Bible study. And afterwards, it's fellowship. By ongoing teachings and formations, we knew that it's within 1 year you should have some covenant orientation. And then there's next is the marriage enrichment retreat. This marriage enrichment retreat normally done after 1 year, where you'll be going to a seminar. In fact, last weekend, I think we have couples here, the Muloy family. They went to marriage enrichment in ER1, and also the Lorenzos. They attended the marriage enrichment last Saturday and Sunday. And also there's another group, I think Beverly. Is he here? No, she left already. The Ramos, they attended the MER2. So I hope, I don't know, they will be sharing that later on in our assembly, and tell us what experience they had, in the MER, because everybody is really anxious to know more about, the MER. And then we have the financial stewardship. This is more of, talking about the tithing. Don't be, scared about this because it's not fixed amount or whatever. Then we will discuss more about this. This is relevant to what's in your heart that you can afford to give or whatever. But don't bother about right now about the financial stewardship. But normally we do this after 1 year. And then the evangelization and training. The regular activities of the community and the church, which is our church here, we have this monthly prayer assemblies, and then the leadership conference. We have that, and those who will be called to attend, a leadership conference, because they will be one of our leaders later on. And then the Lord's Day, normally we do this in the first day of the year, and then during the assemblies